Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome back to another video here on Decent Garage. In today's video, we're going to be diagnosing and hopefully fixing the popping in the front end of the crew cab. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so to start off, I want to thank every one of you for commenting on my video a couple weeks ago about the popping in the front end of my truck. I can't thank you guys enough for all the help, all the feedback, all the ideas for diagnosing it. It truly was helpful, and that is why I do this channel, because I actually want to learn from you guys. I kind of broke down your ideas into 4 different main kind of ideas or topics for what this issue was. The first one was the U-joints in the axle shafts. So we're going to be checking that out. The second one was the actual steering box, steering shaft, steering box brace, all of the above involved with the steering box. The third one was the brake calipers. And the fourth idea was the spring eye bushings in the leaf springs where it connects to the shackles. So I think I know which one of them it is, because a couple days ago it was popping bad. We had driven the truck all the way to Salt Lake and back, and we got home and I had my wife sit in the truck and turn the wheel while I laid underneath of it and tried to pinpoint it, because it got to the point where anytime you turned left or right, it would pop if you were sitting still. So I'm going to put that video on the screen right now. I shot it with my cell phone, so hopefully the quality is okay. So here's that video. Now in that video, it's pretty evident that the spring eye bushing and the front eye of the leaf spring is shifting every time you hear that popping noise. So my guess is that bushing is worn out. Let's tear into the bushing for the front part of the driver's side axle, pull it apart, see if there's any abnormal wear that we can find. I vaguely remember something when I swapped the crew cab that I think might have to do with this. I'm going to check it out and then I'll bring that up. So let's pull that apart first. So before we start this project, I want to give a shout out and a huge thank you to V-Belt & Son. He's a channel I've been watching now for a couple years. He shouted out one of my videos a few weeks ago and sent a bunch of you guys over here to watch my content. That meant the world to me. If you're here from V-Belt shouting me out and you're here from his channel, comment below, let me know. Thank you, Andrew, and let's get started on the project. Okay, we got the tire off. This is nice because we can also inspect the rotors and the brake pads as well, but they're brand new. So let's loosen the bolt on this spring eye right here. And then we will take it out and we will lower the axle down nice and easy. All right, so let me show you what we have here. Here is the bushing, and you can see it is mangled. So that definitely needs to be replaced. And I mentioned earlier that I might have an idea why this happened, and I remember now. This is something I totally forgot about. It wasn't a shortcut I took, but it was the only option I had in the situation I was. So if you've watched my video on how I swapped the crew cab and everything, I'll link it above if you haven't seen it. We swapped the front axle afterwards. And now that I think back on it, when we swapped it, the spring eye bushing is 5/8 of an inch, but the hole for the perch was 1/2 of an inch. So we tried to order new bushings, but no one would ship them to Alaska for less than $100 or something. It was outrageous. So what I said is I'm just going to put a 1/2 inch bolt in there for now, and I'll swap out the bushing as soon as I can get someone to ship one. So with that 1/2 inch bolt fitting the perch holes but being too small for the spring bushing, it was probably allowing a lot of vibration between the bolt and that bushing and the sleeve, and that's what caused it to wear out. So again, it wasn't necessarily a shortcut. It was something I did in a pinch, thinking I'd remember to catch up to it as soon as I could, and now we are, what, 4 years down the road, and it's finally actually wearing out and causing an issue. So I got the new bushing with a sleeve and the new bolt for it right here, 5/8 inch bolt, and you can see there it is compared to that old 1/2 inch bolt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a drill bit and widen that hole out on the perch up to 5/8 of an inch on both sides, obviously. We'll press the old bushing out, press the new one in, put it back together, and that should solve it. Now, I only bought the one bushing for this spring eye. So now that we know that that's an issue, now that I remember that that's an issue, we're gonna fix that one in this video, and I'm gonna buy the ones for the other spring and the rear eye holes as well, so we can get them all replaced and all together. I was debating whether I should do that or whether I should hold off, because I'm probably gonna put 2.5 inch leveling springs on this pretty soon. So we're gonna fix this one for sure, and then as I look at when we should do the leveling springs, we'll see if we should replace those yet, because I don't want to, they were 30 bucks a piece. I don't want to spend that money if we're just gonna switch springs pretty soon. So let's get this one swapped, see if that fixes the popping. I think it will, because you could see in that video it was totally shifting every time it popped. But this should be pretty straightforward. So let's widen out that hole and then press out the bushing, press in the new one, and put her back together and see how it is. Alright, there it is. There's that sleeve. So now we have to press the new one in. So we'll put it back in the same way. I might put just a little bit of dish soap on it just to kind of lubricate it in, and then that should just evaporate and dry off eventually, so that shouldn't be a big deal. So let's see how this goes. Success. Okay, so the new bushing is in there right here. We got the hole reamed out to 5/8, so we could take my makeshift spacers out, let the spring go back up in, and put the new bolt in and put it back together. That should be it. I'm honestly surprised I was able to do this in, I've been going at it for about an hour. I thought this was going to take a lot longer. So the ball joint press was a lifesaver, and the earthquake impact driver, complete lifesaver as well. So let's take the shims out, line up the bushing with the bolt holes, put the bolt in, button it back together, and see how she does. Alright guys, The new bolt is in with the new bushing. So we are ready to button this back up. I checked the rotors and the pads, they all look good. I checked all the tabs on the steering gearbox, none of them are cracked off. I didn't do the axle U-joint yet, I didn't check that, but I'm gonna put the wheel back on, put it back on the ground, go drive it around, see how it feels, and I will probably do that axle U-bolt test in another video if it doesn't fix it with this. So we're gonna hope this is it. With the state of that eye bushing and remembering back to what I had done, it makes sense that that could be causing it. So not that the ones who said the axle U-joint is wrong, but I'm gonna check that in another video if this doesn't work. So let's get the tire back on, go take it for a drive and see if it does it. All right guys, it's all put back together, the wheel's on. It is time for a test drive. Someone also mentioned in the comments the uneven wear on this tire, and that may have to do with that extra play up there as well, but I do need to get the tires rotated. That is due for sure. So let's go test drive it and see, and then I'll keep you guys updated over the next couple of weeks. You know, we could drive it around the block and, you know, it seems like it's gone, but then driving it to work or something, it may reappear. So I'll keep you guys updated, but let's go test drive it and see what it looks like. All right, she started up fine. That's never the issue though. Okay, so nothing while I'm just sitting here spinning the wheel. Nothing backing out of the driveway. That one was usually pretty consistent. Let's take it around the block and I'll kind of take some slow turns. Nothing. Wow, that usually that would have done it for sure, hitting the driveway turning like that, but nothing. So I think it's fixed. Like I said, I'll keep you guys updated over the next couple of weeks while I drive it longer. It tended to be when I drove it longer, and I don't know if it got it warmed up or what, but it tended to pop more after I drove it for a while. So I'll keep you guys updated. I still want to test some of the other theories too, just for the fun of it and just so I can learn and teach you guys as well. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for your help on this issue. That was awesome. I hope to do more videos like this where you guys help me out. That's honestly why I love this channel. Like this video if you liked it, comment below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.